Symbolism is all around us. We see it in our daily lives, we see it in movies and TV shows, and we also see it in literature. So often students wonder, did the author really mean for the heart to mean that, or is it just a heart? And believe it or not, the authors do intend for these objects and events and colors to have a meaning deeper than just what they stand for. So symbolism, as a review, is a person, place, object, idea, color, season, you name it, that has a meaning beyond its original meaning. So for instance, the color red. The color red, many people will think love, anger, maybe they think blood, or even hell. But it can also symbolize energy, passion and desire, strength, warmth, life. It can also symbolize action. It could be a warning color. It could be fire, the devil, anger, hostility. There's just so many meanings beyond it. And so the question is, how do you determine whether or not red means love or does it mean anger? Well, you have to look at the context in which it's being used. You can't just see the word as the word. Instead, you have to take it in its environment and then apply it to the situation. So for instance, a skull and crossbones. If I see a skull and crossbones on a bottle, I'm going to suspect that it means danger, poison. If I see a skull and crossbones on a flag, I'm going to think Jolly Roger, I'm going to think pirates, and possibly get out of the way so that you're safe. Skull and crossbones can also mean death. So again, it's all a matter of the situation. Let's take a season, for instance. What about spring? Well, if I think about it, in spring, all the flowers are coming alive, the trees start to get their buds, and really everything is coming to life again. It's a rebirth, and that is in fact what spring symbolizes. It symbolizes youth, it symbolizes rebirth, it can symbolize resurrection also. Symbolism in setting is something where you actually have to take a look at the setting. For instance, the season at which something's happening or the time of day. Basically, if you see the sun is rising in a book, that means new beginning or new day. If you see the sun setting, it means something's coming to an end, whether it be an event in the person's life or whatnot. So symbolism in setting in Fahrenheit 451. Here I have a quote. He stood very straight and listened to the person on the dark bed in the completely featureless night. Here you have Montague, right after he's met Clarice for the first time, standing in his bedroom overlooking Mildred. And notice it says it's a featureless night. Okay, and it's also dark. So here we have this darkness in the night. And we have to ask ourselves, well, what does this mean? Why does it have to be so dark? Why does it have to be night? Why isn't he just seeing her in the daylight, passed out on the bed from a potential overdose? Instead, it's symbolic of their relationship. The relationship is dark. They don't know much about one another. They can't see into each other at all. But also, this relationship is, just like the night, featureless. There's just nothing special about it. So this particular instance, it's the very first time we see Montague with his wife. Right away, symbolically, we're being told that this relationship is not a good one. Symbolism of events. So the events in a novel can also be symbolic of something. So for instance, when Montague is walking with Clarice for the first time, he says to her as they pass her house, "What's going on?" Montague had rarely seen that many house lights. "Oh, just my mother and father and uncle sitting around talking," she replies. This particular event is symbolic of what it is society in the novel is lacking. They're lacking life. Lights on at night symbolize activity. It symbolizes that life is going on, that something is happening. It's bright, it's vibrant. Where most of the other houses are dark, with exception of the flickering lights of the TVs. So this is symbolic of the fact that the society doesn't have any life anymore. It's not vibrant. Instead, it's very dull. Okay, so let's practice this together. So we have the event of Montague burning his own house down, and for some reason, he kind of enjoys it. So to figure out how this is symbolic, we have to ask ourselves, well, why is he burning the house down? Well, he's burning it down because he has to. A call has been sent in that lets the fire department know that Montag's house has books in it. So he is doing what he has to for his job. Okay, well, why might he enjoy it? Well, first of all, we have to ask, what does his house mean to him? And his house, is this a place of happiness or is it a place of despair? And it really is more of this house that he just dreads going to. And he just, it represents the relationship he has with his wife. And it's also lifeless altogether. He hates everything about his house. He hates the parlor room, he hates his bedroom, he hates the 2 separate beds, he hates his wife. So he's enjoying destroying what it is he doesn't like. So even though this is a terrifying experience for him, he enjoys burning it because it's symbolic of his destroying that in his life which he just can't stand anymore. So in class, we're going to continue doing this and going a lot deeper into the meanings of things, both objects, but also seasons, settings, events, and characters. So please remember this little tutorial on symbolism.